So this guy offered the split, flipped to the replays, his deck doesn't look that good. We mulliganed the first hand, it didn't really have any action. Second hand looks fine if we see lands 3 and 4, and his deck doesn't look the greatest, so it'll probably give us some time to draw those. He seems to be a fairly good player, making some bad cards work really hard. But this, without tempting fate, this should be quite an easy win. He seemed quite annoyed when I told him that I couldn't split because I was recording this video for you. And the Plague Stinger just makes the hand a lot sweeter, especially with the Untamed Might. It means, like, even if we don't see the third land for a couple of turns, we're probably still highly favoured because Plague Stinger is just amazing, obviously. And that's why we switched into black. So he's got an Auric Edrite, which is not something that I've seen played before. It seems quite bad unless you've got Metalcraft, because it's double white and it's just a 2/2 most of the time. And if they can take you off Metalcraft in time, it's going to be in mid combat. It's going to be like one of the worst guys. Yeah, we're quite happy to take the 2 damage. Our clocks are the same, and we've got an Untamed Might. And Boona Acolyte is going to be annoying for us. So we don't see the land that we wanted, which is annoying. It happens sometimes. I still think we're quite favoured. Our hand is just excellent if we ever see a third land, and amazing if we see a fourth land. Contagious Nimb's pretty good. I think is one of the more underrated cards. It's got more Rock Replica, again, not something we're that worried about, although it is an artifact. So Copper Mare, which I guess could be a blocker. We're obviously not going to attack here because it just taps our guy for no reason, because it'll just prevent the damage with the Acolyte. He's going to get in for some damage here. Hopefully he doesn't have 2 artifacts. I guess he probably doesn't. Otherwise he'd have played them previously instead of playing the Acolyte. We'll just take the 4 damage here. Go to 12. Hopefully rebuild. We hit another land here. We can just run out the Tangle Angler. And then the Instill Infection. Tangle Angler is going to be really good against his deck. It's excellent in the non-poison matches, just because it's got such a big behind that nothing gets past it. A deck with 3 of them against this is probably going to be pretty good. Considered for a little bit there and still infectioning his guy, but we gain very little value off that. He gains like 1 poison counter next turn, which is not something that I'm wanting to be doing. So hopefully what he does now is pinions up his Edgerite. Yeah, no, that means he doesn't have another artifact. Gets in for 2 in the air. We're quite happy to let him do that. And it means next turn we can just leave the Plague Stinger back on defense. Hopefully he doesn't have another artifact. Even if he does, we've still got enough mana to Untamed Might to save the Plague Stinger. I guess if it was like a Darksteel Axe or something, that would be really good for him, but you know, if it happens, it happens. Although that means he would have had to top deck it here. So has he top decked a Darksteel Axe? Nope, just a Darksteel Mirror. That's not the same thing. He's going to attack. We'll make our guy huge with Untamed Might, and then he really doesn't have a clock anymore, because we've got the Tangle Angler, and we can Instill Infection his Acolyte to make sure that our Plague Stinger is going to go all the way. So yeah, give Plague Stinger +4/+4. I mean, it kind of feels like a 2-for-1. I know it's not, but it means that he's like had to play out artifact guys and spend mana equipping and stuff just to do that. So it's not quite a 2-for-1. But it's just we've got such a big tempo advantage now, and we can start picking off his guys. and we'll just make Carnifex Demon. Again, making it pre-combat. I mean, we're not attacking anyway because it'll just prevent the damage. And this will completely wipe his board. Just getting for a load of damage. It means he can't ever play any 1 or 2 toughness guys. Plus we've got a Contagious Nim back in hand. We want to win with poison damage. So he ends up on Mox Opal. It's a nice 7-8 ticks if you can find a decent bot to buy it. It doesn't quite pay for the draft, but with the four packs he's going to get for coming second, or if he manages to come back from this one, she's looking pretty bad. I guess you could just have the arrest here. That'd be really annoying. Clone Shell. So all this deck, the quality of this guy's deck isn't great overall. We know he does have a Steel Hellkite. So obviously I'm annoyed. Don't really want to be killing the Clone Shell in case there is a Steel Hellkite under there. It's one of the few things that might actually be able to race the Carnifex Demon. So I'm quite happy to just culling this. That's going to be pretty nice with our Carnifex Demon. So yeah, instead just run out the culling dice, leave some mana up to Plague Stinger. Sorry, instill Infection and allow our Plague Stinger to get in. But we're probably going to be winning this with regular damage. So yeah, that Dark Steel Mirror isn't long for this world. I was talking about the different passages of play, like decide now whether I want to win with poison damage or regular damage. I think regular damage is probably going to be just much easier, given that we've got the Carnifex Demon, and we can put the Heavy Arbalist on something that isn't poison to shoot him, or something that is poison, and lock down the board in a much better way than something that isn't poison. So the plan now is to tap 4, instill Infection, the Immuno Acolyte. He'll prevent some damage, I presume, and we'll just get in with the Carnifex Demon in the air. We'll draw a card. It's a forest. We'll make a forest. That's basically all we're doing. I think the Acolyte is basically the only thing that's annoying us, stopping us from winning the game very quickly. So we're quite happy to just get in with the Carnifex Demon and batter him down. I think this is a safer line of play than trying to remove counters. I'd like to keep as many counters on the Carnifex Demon for as long as possible, because it's just going to lock down the board. And given that there's only 2 flyers in the set that are more than 2 toughness, which is Sky Eel School and Dark Slick Drake, common and uncommon. Obviously there's rare flyers that are bigger. He's not going to be blocking it. Again, he could just have the arrest, which would be really annoying, but I can always sack it to the culling dice, which just gives us some advantage of that. He could have a Glenthawk, which would be quite annoying because it would mean that if I want to get through this turn, I've got to kill the Clone Shell. If he equips the Clone Shell with the Bladed Pinions instead of playing out whatever he's drawn, that means I'm pretty sure he's got the Steel Hellkite or something really good under there, maybe an arrest or something. If he doesn't equip, it's probably a sign that he's not desperate for it to die. I mean, he probably should equip. It's probably the only way he's going to stop me attacking. Instead, I'd probably switch to the Poison Plan and just Heavy Arbalist. Okay, so he probably doesn't have the Steel Hellkite under there. Or he's running a really elaborate bluff, but I'm pretty sure it's the former.